Welcome to this speaking class. This is class number 51, and we're going to be talking about asking for directions. For this, we need to use modals. When you want to give directions, you use modals. Do you see the modals right here on the table? Yes, for example, number 1, can you tell me the way to the station, please? Imagine that you're traveling and you are asking for directions. What question can you ask? Can you tell me the way to the station, please? Or number 2, you can also ask, could you tell me the way to the station, please? Another question, number 3, how can I get to Main Street, please? So, in number 1, number 2, and number 3, what do you see? You see modals. What color? Orange. So you have a modal, orange. After that, you have a subject, light blue, and then you have a verb in yellow. So you can use modals to ask for directions when you're traveling. You can also ask for directions using there plus be. For example, is there a subway entrance near here? Or number 2, are there any supermarkets around here? So what do you have here? You have first in yellow the verb to be, then in orange you have there, and after that in number 1 you have an indefinite article that can be a because what comes is singular, and or in number 2 you can have a quantifier, any. Why? Because what comes next is in plural. So is there a, or are there any? You can use these phrases to ask for directions. Now, if you want to give directions, so what can you use? You can use imperatives. For example, turn left at the intersections. Number 2, go past the movie theater. Number 3, stop at the traffic lights. Where do you see the imperatives? The imperatives are right there in orange. What is an imperative? It's just a verb, just as you see it in a dictionary. Example, number 1, turn. Number 2, go. Number 3, stop. It is very easy to use imperatives to give directions and instructions. Now, you can also give directions using prepositions. And prepositions can be words, like for example, right. Number 1, number 2, left. Number 3, go straight, straight. Number 4, past. Number 5, at. You can use these prepositions to give directions like turn right. Number 2, turn left. Number 3, go straight. Number 4, go past the movie theater. Number 5, stop at the traffic lights. But prepositions also come in phrases. For example, on the corner, on the right, on the left. And you can say things like number 1, it's on the corner. Number 2, it's on the right. Number 3, it's on the left. Awesome. Now, can we use all of this to practice our test-taking strategies? For sure we can. And we're going to start with one activity to practice our speaking for that day when you take the PEIC exam, which happens to be the Pearson English International Certificate. Imagine that you are traveling and you need directions. Your partner is a local person helping you out. During the exam, you will receive a card like this with instructions. You have to follow the instructions to engage in a conversation. The instructions in this card say, greet the man. Next, ask the man if he can help you. Next, ask him how you can get to the art museum. Number 4, ask him if he thinks taking a taxi is a better idea. Number 5, ask him if he knows when it opens. Yes, if he knows when it opens. And next, thank the man for his help. So you have the instructions here. Now you have to put your ideas together in order to create a conversation with a partner. You can use modals, the simple present, and imperatives to have a conversation like this. For example, you can be student A, yellow, and your partner can be student B, light blue. Do you see in yellow the modals? Yes, examples of modals. Yes, for example, in number 2 you have can you, can I get. In number 4 you see examples of the simple present. The same happens in number 5. Do you think I should, do you think I should, or do you know, Now let's go to light blue. Do you see any examples of the grammar that we are reviewing today? Yes. For example, you can see an imperative and a preposition in number 3. Go straight. So you can have this conversation during the exam. For instance, number 1, good evening. Hi. Can you help me please? That's number 2. Sure. How can I get to the art museum? Well, it's not near here. Go straight for 10 blocks. Number 4. Do you think I should take a taxi? I don't think so. There is too much traffic. Number 5. I see. Do you know when the museum opens? Light blue. I'm sorry, I don't really know. Number 6. Yellow. No problem. Thanks for your help. Light blue. 6. My pleasure. So you can put a conversation like this together when you're taking the exam, so that you can show the examiner that you know how to use modals, the simple present, imperatives, and prepositions of time or prepositions of place. Now we're going to see how to use pictures during an A2 Key Cambridge exam. And what happens, you have a set of pictures and you will have to write a story based on the pictures, the story of this woman. Maybe she's traveling, she's asking for directions. Before her trip, she's looking at maps. She doesn't want to get lost. So what do you need to put a story together? You need a simple present, maybe to talk about the things that she usually does when she travels. For example, number 1, based on that picture, what 3 sentences can you write? Well, we are doing it here to practice our speaking, but when you take the actual exam, you will have to write the sentences. So number 1, before she goes on a trip, she always uses an online map. Do you see the simple present there? Yes, she goes and she always uses. Subject, she, verb, goes, uses. Now, number 2, she locates the places of interest on her trip on the map. Simple present, she locates, right? It ends in S. Now, number 3, she also chooses the best routes or routes. Okay, according to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, you can pronounce that word in those 2 different ways. Do you see the subject? She. Do you see the verb? Chooses. Awesome. And if you go to number 1, can you identify the time clause? Yes, before she goes on a trip. It's underlined. Picture number 2, what can you say about this woman, about what she usually does when she travels? Number 1, during her trip, she always carries her phone. Simple present, she always carries. Number 2, she connects to the internet and checks her location. Simple present, she connects and she checks. The verb is properly conjugated, that's why it finishes in S. Now, number 3, To avoid problems, she charges her phone fully before leaving her accommodation. Do you see the simple present here? Yes, she charges. It has to finish in S because you are talking about a woman, third person singular. Now, go to number 1 again. Do you see a time clause there? No, but there is a time marker during her trip. Number 3, do you see a time clause there? No, but there is a time phrase before leaving her accommodation. So, number 1, the time marker, and number 3, the time phrase, both give you context on when a situation takes place. Now, let's see the third picture. What can you say about what this woman does every time that she is traveling and needs directions? According to the picture, you may say things like this. Number 1, when she takes the subway, she reads the maps on the walls. Simple present, she takes, she reads. Do you see a time clause? Yes, when she takes the subway. That gives you information about timing. Now, number 2, she also takes pictures of the maps for future reference. Simple present, she also takes. Number 3, she never asks for help when she has a map right in front of her. Simple present, she never asks, she has. Do you see a time clause in number 3? Yes, when she has a map right in front of her. That is the context. Good. Now, picture number 3. When she feels that she's lost, she asks for directions. A time clause, when she feels that she's lost. That is the context. A simple present, she feels, she is, and also she asks. Now, number 2, she doesn't like it though. Negative. When you have a sentence in negative form, your verb is not going to change. You have to add an auxiliary. Which is the auxiliary here? Doesn't. It's not don't because the subject is she. It is not I, you, they. Right? Now, number 3, she prefers to do things by herself. What is the subject? She prefers. Cool. Now, if you want to watch the whole video or more videos about test-taking strategies or stuff like that, please visit aglounges.com. And if you are interested in taking online English classes, please visit our website and send us a message also. That's our email address, info@aglounges.com. If you have any comments or questions, please leave a comment under the description of this video. And if you want to see the examples that are in this video and you need the translations into Spanish, you can visit our blog. There's a link also there. There's going to be a link there for you. All right, you can visit our blog, and please follow Hector Cabrera on Instagram, and also follow us on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram.